finger? Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. We got a great show lined up for you guys today. We're going to be taking a look at where Bitcoin's at and the one indicator you need to watch that matters against all others. I'm seeing a similar pattern on that. We're going to be looking at that, plus talking about Germany. How much more Bitcoin do they actually have to sell off? That and Jerome Powell speaking today. Whole lot more right here on Piper Academy, guys. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm wearing my fresh new threads from In and Out Crypto, so shout out to Rocco. Loving my shirt. So yeah, I got some new drip from Rocco over at In and Out Crypto. So I am rocking it today. But we got a great show lined up for you today. We got TradeFly and the OC guy in the house today. So let's go ahead and bring them up without any further ado, because the whole trio, the whole fam is here and we're rocking. What's up, TradeFly? How you been this week, man?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back. I am a weird kind of excited to get on the show again. So looking forward to talking with you guys, hanging out, having some laughs, mixing it up in the chat. You know how we do. So, and I do like your drip, by the way. I'm digging it. I had that.
Hey, look,
I had that one in my my cart.
It's got a QR code on the sleeve, and so I was curious. I was like, "Does it really work?" And
I am going to scan you. Don't you worry.
It went straight to In and Out Crypto, so it's pretty cool. I like it. I like the shirt. It's comfortable, and I like the colors. They pop. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And I love it. It finally showed up. I was like a kid in the candy store, so excited and everything. It's like when I was waiting for all my gear for the studio. Like, look, where are they at? Where's the van at? Where's the FedEx truck? You know. But OC, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing fantastic. Pretty good day. Yesterday, I had a great night's sleep, went to bed earlier. Man, I can't believe that I'm in that part of the life that I do appreciate going early to bed. I mean, I do remember in college, I was like, hey, is it 1 a.m.? This is too early for me. Come on, right? But I'm feeling fantastic today and ready to eat the world.
Let's get it.
What was that?
Let's get it. I said definitely we are early, but we're not as early as Lunar Beaches. Lunar Beaches is on early. So, but I caught up this morning on it. Had to go get my morning dose of some Lunar Beaches crypto, you know? Yeah, we got a great show lined up today, guys. We got some news articles we're going to go over. We got Jerome Powell speaking here in about 30 minutes. He's going to be testifying in front of Congress, talking about where are we at with rate cuts and this and that. So could get some volatility, as the description of today's video talks about. Could see some volatility coming in, like if he says things like soon, or he, you know, like I think that we're on a good path and we could see it sooner than maybe later. Those words will change sentiment, and we could see a lot of volatility in the markets. I'm sitting here looking over at the CNBC market opening right now, and it looks like Dow's down a little bit. S&P is up just slightly by about 0.2%, and the NASDAQ up about 0.4%. So watching that morning open there, we're going to keep you guys updated, and we're going to watch and see how this volatility plays out in the second half of today's show. But let's go ahead, jump into some news today. But before we get over there, I just want to know, TradeFly, because you weren't here yesterday, so we need to get you talking as much as possible. Let's get you awake. Drink your coffee.
I'm awake.
Here's the question. Are we going to hear bullishness or bearishness in the sentiment? Hawkish or dovish out of Jerome Powell today at the Congress testimony?
Oh, man. You know, I'm gonna go a little hawkish. I think he was pulling some dovish on us a little bit. Then he seemed to kind of taper off for the last time he talked. I think we might start tweaking back into the hawkish, and that's just really from like fundamentals that I'm hearing from some of the other content creators. But yeah, we'll see, man. I'm anxiously waiting like everyone else.
Definitely have to wait and see. All right, let's jump over to the news. Let's go see what we're looking at over there, guys. Let's jump into the news, brought to you by Decrypted.tax. If you guys got tax questions, you're wanting to know, hey, should I be selling this stuff right now and getting myself a little tax harvesting going on, stuff like that? Those questions, Ernest can answer at Decrypted.tax, guys. And I'm telling you, it's a free consultation. So you guys need to give them a call. We got a link down below, and you get 25% off if you do decide to use the services and that free consultation. So don't hesitate. Call Ernest today. Let's look here at the fear and greed, guys. Sitting at 27, we're in fear. We're getting a little push down there into that extreme fear side. But I am still watching this every day, just looking at it, just to see what the sentiment is like. Looking over here on the daily for the crypto bubbles, we got eGold up 9.5%, Safe up to 5.4, Bonks up 5.8, TIA rebounding beautifully to 12.4%. What else we got here? Ethereum naming system, 8.9%. VeChain making a move up 7.6. But overall, guys, still red on the week. Nothing bullish going on here. Just not super bearish. So we are getting a little bit of a rally here today on the daily and on the hourly. This has been red all morning for me. We're starting to turn green here. Let's go down and take a look at where we are right now. Bitcoin sitting at about 57,360 range right now. Ethereum just above $3,000 right now. Other big movers here, you can see 1.3% up for Ethereum, 1% up for Toncoin, Tron's up 2.7. In the top 20, the biggest mover, guys, Caspa. Let's go. Caspa in the house. I love it. Love to see it. But beyond that, guys, and that's not even the top 20, it's top 23. So in the top 20, I guess the biggest mover is Tron. So nothing to write home to mom about today on this. Like, yeah, we got a little rebound, but as I said, I don't turn bullish until one indicator changes, and I'll be showing you guys what that is. Looking here at the liquidation, guys, in the past 24 hours, 43,121 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $163.4 million. Total largest single liquidation order was on OKX, 9.7. We'll just round it up. When you're in that type of money, what's 9.69 versus 9.7? $9.7 million in liquidations in a single trade right there on OKX. So this is the economic calendar. Here's what we're talking about today, guys. This is 8 a.m. my time here. Fed Chair Powell testimony. Say that 3 times fast. That is going to be happening at 8 a.m. my time. That's 10 a.m. on the East Coast, which is going to be about 22 minutes from now. That's when that's going to start. And then we don't really have anything today until tomorrow. He's going to be doing a speech tomorrow. And then we get that 10-year note auction. If you guys remember the last time we had a 10-year note auction, these are for bonds. These are auctions for bonds. A lack of interest in that 10-year bond pushed the markets down the last time. So we're going to be watching for that. That's tomorrow, 1 p.m. On the East Coast. And then Thursday is where we get the real data. That's going to be our core inflation rate year over year and month over month. And then our inflation rate, which right now is expected to come down. So we could get a little rally this week off of some of this data, depending on what Jerome Powell says, depending on how the 10-year auction goes, and depending on that CPI. So that's what I wanted to bring up there. And I think that's about it. I'll get into those news articles later on. But right now, that's what we got. That's what we got for news. That's where we are in the system, man. So let's go ahead and jump over and check out, excuse me, the Bitcoin chart. And then we'll jump in and see how that heat map is looking, because I see it over there on the screen. TradeFly standing by, sniping. All right, guys. So we had yesterday, we talked about this, and this is the indicator. I'm going to go ahead and show you now what the indicator is, guys. It's this 200-day exponential moving average. This is why it matters. This 200-day exponential moving average is everything to me right now. As long as we are below this, and as long as we keep getting rejection, these are daily candles. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Every day we're getting rejected off that 200, guys. And so if you've been watching us since I dropped that notification in Discord last week, Friday or Saturday, I think it was, maybe it was Saturday, I dropped that and said, hey, look, we're at rejection point plus previous support, also in line there, this little box of rejection. If you'd been following us since then and been on the show, you could have just shorted this every single day. I'm just saying. But you know, if you're not willing, not wanting to trade, I understand that. I'm not willing to short right now. In a bullish market, I am all about longs. In a bearish market, I'm all about shorts. And while we do have bearish movement and bearish price action, I don't think we're in a bear market right now. So getting into a short, you can get trapped to be stuck there forever. You get into a long, eventually it's going to come back around your way. So that is the way that it works. But I'm watching here, guys, on this daily, we are starting to get a little bit of an uptick here, a little curvature coming off of the RSI Prime, and then down here, I mean, on the Oscillator Pro, and then down here on the RSI Prime, we are getting a little bit of a green candle there. Let's drop this down to the 4 hour, see how this is looking. On the 4 hour here, we are looking at, there we go, load, possibly getting a little curvature down here again. Let's see if it hits that zero line and bounces up a little bit higher. But I am watching. We are in the golden pocket, so I am watching for us to get back up here into this range before we get another rejection. Grab the liquidity from here, which is sitting at about 58,600. Take note of that one, TradeFly. I'm sure that that's on your chart. And then, of course, guys, I'm still talking about that downside movement that we could see down to that 48,000 range. As a matter of fact, if we turn this on, nope, that is the wrong one. If we turn this, sir, what are you doing? What are you doing, sir? There you go. If we look at what we have down there, guys, that is going to be, there it is. That is going to be that $52,000 range that is sitting back here down to about 48,000, which is that 50% Fibonacci. So this is the range that I'm watching right here. It's going to be the top range of this coming in at 52 down to this 50% Fib at 48.5. So that's the far down action that I'm watching. And I do have a second one where I'm going to come back after this heat map, and I'll show you guys a comparative analysis of why that EMA is so important and why I'm watching that. Let's jump over to TradeFly and see what you're seeing there in your chart, bro.
All right, yeah, I got the liquidation heat map up on the daily. All right, and just as you said, somewhere around 58K, right? You said just over. I think you said 58.6, 58,000. That's kind of your liquidity where it's getting pretty hot there. That's on the daily, so that means it's coming in quick, and there's a lot of shorts there. That's essentially what that is. All right, so people are shorting the market, and they are probably playing exactly what you're saying and playing that 200 EMA. It's actually pretty close to the 200 SMA too. Something I'm looking at on my chart there in red, but it also is underneath of that trend line. So remember, we talked about this trend line last time I was on the show. All right, it was honoring that trend line on the way up as it was trending up and right, and now we're on the bottom side. So what was support is now resistance. Keep an eye on that. You got double trouble here because, I mean, you also have this support range that's been holding up since February. So a lot of confluence here that's showing you resistance, and you can see that the smaller moving averages are starting to move down pretty quick as well. So that might actually cross with your 200. So, you know, that's what I'm looking at. So one thing I do want you to take a look at that has been holding up as support, though, is this channel. I've talked about this channel before. It's kind of been a minute since I've really discussed it, but it goes way back in history here. But you can see top side here was acting as resistance, and then this is kind of your median. All right, so your median is what's been acting as support, right? And you can see it was resistance here before it ultimately took off. Here's the bottom part of the channel, but it's acting as support right now. So, you know, that could be a little bit of hopium for you, that you do have at least one level of support kind of moving up and right still. So just want to point that out to you, and that is what I am seeing.
Awesome. Yeah, let's jump up back over to my chart then here, and I want to show you guys why this 200 matters. And you guys can see here, I'm looking at the daily. This is the 4 hour. I want to put this back on the daily. There we go. You guys can see how, like we just talked about, how much this has played out for us on rejection at this level. And we got about to get across here on the 50 and the 100 day, and we've got that support sitting right below us with the 300. Let's go look at a previous time period here and compare this so that you can see what this looks like, guys, because this was back in 2019, and we had, you know, 200 was our resistance. We had a little bit of play action in the 300 range right about the time that we're getting across. If you go and you take a look at where this went to, we did get this bounce up here that came back and grabbed liquidity. You can see that. Oh, come here. Went back and grabbed liquidity. Sir, can you draw for me? Thank you. There we go. Went back and grabbed liquidity at this level and then came back down. And we had a pullback. And I just want to show you this because it's the irony is not lost on me. Let's go from the 200 down to that level. That is about a 20% in that range. If we go over here and we take a look on this chart and I put back on those fibs, there's that fib. And where is that little the little rectangle box? There it is right there. If we look at this area here, this is the 48,000. So that range that I'm talking about here is that 0.5 fib over to that $52,000 range. So that is the range that we're looking at right in here, right? If we go over here and we look at a pullback from that 200 from there, guys, that is about a 20% pullback, 19.6% pullback, somewhere in that ballpark. It would be down in that $48,000 range. So we've seen this before. It looks a lot alike. It may not rhyme, but it does sound a lot alike, and we are seeing this again. So that is why I say until we get out of this range that we're in and get back above the 200, I don't have any bullish sentiment right now for the near term. I think that what we're seeing is this 200 as resistance, and there is definitely potential to break that 300 and come down to that 48. We've seen it historically happen. Very possibly could happen again. So let's jump over to OC. If you're seeing anything different, I'd like to hear what you're seeing on your chart. But I just wanted to people to understand why I still talk about lower numbers, regardless of what type of move up we get. And if we jump up and we got that liquidity that we showed on the heat map at 58,000, breaking that previous high, still not out of the woods. We've seen this before. So what do you got for us, OC?
Absolutely. Basically, I do still have the same overall look at that. Despite I do have maybe shorter time frame movements before we reach lower targets. As you can see, I do have a box that it's been here forever. That stands between 52,900 and somewhere around 48, 49, 400, right? So basically, right on your targets, which are also defined with this previous area of resistance, right, which now becomes a support. Let me go to the 4-hour very quickly, very quick here, and let's take a look at this area right here. Remember that we were looking at this V-shaped recovery before a moving downwards, and then a little bit of a ranging here before defining the direction. So the same thing we've been looking right now. So just so you know, guys, this is from yesterday. Yesterday, we were talking about maybe forming this wedge in here all the way down here, or in the worst case scenario, forming this bearish pennant. So if we have a bearish pennant, I mean, this could be a little bit of worrying, as we could be breaking all the way down as the targets are that you are looking at. Let's just take a look at how this one ended up. Basically, as you can see, we are already almost at the top of this triangle. At this point, I need to see what is my oscillator doing, just making sure that it is not going to be another fake out like we had previously in here, right? And as you can see, the previous movement that we were talking or expecting, it is playing out as expected on these areas. So for me, the shorter time frame, we're going to be oscillating here before we start breaking through a couple of targets. So let me just remove this one. This one is pretty straightforward. And then let me start adding another line in here that it's going to be a little bit of a speculation, because we don't have just yet a pivot point, and this could be changing size or direction depending on where we have the next bounce of this movement. But so far, we are still online, just slightly behind time, but there we go. It is already fixed. And just beware, guys, I will be adding a couple of alerts on these two lines to give you the heads up when we are breaking either upwards or downwards. Other than that, looking at my indicators, we can see, and let me just maybe clean everything up in here. Looking at my indicators, we have a loud order block below and a loud order block above. That's why, because of this order block and this trend line that we were visiting yesterday, that's exactly why I'm saying that this line could be changing direction. Maybe we could be making a flag up to the right, like that, right? But it is still need to be, we still need to wait for the actual outcome of it in the rejection of the zero line. So other than that, turning it back to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to show you just real fast. I'll go over the TA on this in a minute, but you want to see a really bullish looking chart? Look at Caspa, bro. Look at Caspa on the daily. Like that looks really bullish. I'm just saying. All of the EMA still pointing up. Higher lows, higher lows. It's beautiful. It's quite beautiful. So all right, let's get into some more news here. I want to talk about Germany, because Germany's been selling. They've been selling this crypto, man. They've been selling this Bitcoin, and I want to bring up. It says, how much more do they have left? Right? There's an article talks about that, because eventually they've got to run out, and I do think that is what's going to happen. The selling sentiment is just not going to be there anymore, and it's starting to lessen now. The selling pressure is getting less and less momentum to the downside. So I do think we're almost there, but not quite. But let's jump over to this article and talk about how much more Germany has. German triggers Bitcoin crash with rapid selling. Here's how much Bitcoin they have left. So goes in here. It says, Bitcoin's consistent price decline has been driven by multiple factors, including outflows from spot Bitcoin ETFs, unfavorable market conditions, Mt. Gox's Bitcoin redistribution plans. But lately, the cryptocurrency price has been further pressured by the substantial Bitcoin sell-offs executed by the German government. For weeks, Germany has sold thousands of Bitcoin worth hundreds of millions of dollars. On June 25th, blockchain analytics platform Arkham Intelligence reported that the government sold 900 Bitcoin worth about 52 million. They moved another 400 Bitcoin to Coinbase and Kraken and transferred the rest to an unidentified address. Last week, the German government executed another major sell-off of Bitcoin, transferring a whopping 3,000 Bitcoins valued around $172 million to exchanges. The government moved 1,300 Bitcoin to Kraken, Bitstamp, and Coinbase, and sold the rest to an unknown wallet address. That is an over-the-counter, does not have an impact on price. We talked about this yesterday. But the most recent Bitcoin transaction was on Monday, June 8th, when the German police sold an additional 2,738.7 Bitcoin, worth about 155 million there. As of the writing, the German government still holds a staggering amount of Bitcoin. Arkham's data has revealed that the government holdings is amount of about 26,000, a little over 26,000 Bitcoin, valued at about $1.49 billion. So when people go, they're selling, you guys got to remember, they probably got this much cheaper. They're putting money back into their reserves, and they're still holding about $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So it's not like they're selling all of their Bitcoin off. They are doing what's called taking profit. And it's not a bad thing. No one's ever gone broke taking profit. I just hate when they take profit and dump that much on us, and we have to eat the unrealized profit losses. So that's what I hate seeing. But TradeFly, OC, what do you guys think? Where's this threshold at? When do they, is it 50%? Is it 60%? Like, how much more Bitcoin are they going to sell before they go, I'm holding the rest of this for my moon bag, right? Like, what do you guys think? We'll go with OC first. Do you think it's soon?
Well, I believe that, what is it?
Do you think it's soon? Are they done selling soon, or is this going to be a summer thing?
No, I don't think it's gonna last that long. I mean, of course that they want to make a buck out of this. I mean, and I do agree with you. They've been holding this Bitcoin for a long time, and now, despite the drop or the dump, it's happening. I think there's going to be a threshold, and that threshold, it is for me, pushing it to the limit, because there's going to be, if they keep just pushing and pushing and pushing, there's going to be a snowball effect, and I don't think they're after that. I think they're after profits and extracting as much value in fiat as they can out of Bitcoin, because at the end of it all, at this point, world runs on fiat, right? So I do see it going over maybe 1 or 2 months. And I do also see it getting slowed down as the price of Bitcoin maybe start testing the 50Ks. So I don't think it's going to be lasting forever. I don't think it's going to be a major issue. And I don't think also that they want to drop or dump the price of Bitcoin. Something that gets me wondering is where exactly did they got that much Bitcoin from? I mean, is that from illegal mining? Is that for?
Don't question your government. Don't question governments. No, it's a good question. It's a good question. I would love to know how they got all of that. Did they, were they degens buying Bitcoin at $300? I don't know.
So
I
started reading
to go
up
back
on
and look at their on-chain analysis to see when they started buying that. What's up, TradeFly?
A lot of it's from seizures.
Seizures.
So one of them was 50,000 Bitcoin in mid-January, and they said that was worth about 2.2 billion at the time of seizure. Another one was associated with some piracy site. So a lot of it is kind of the same way that the U.S. is acquiring Bitcoin as well, and it's usually through illegal activities or perceived, we'll call it illegal activities. So when it comes down to this, like
profit.
Yes, that's why I was gonna say they don't care. Like it's not about like selling it when they sell it. They probably just don't care. Honestly, they're probably just selling it, taking the value of it, and whatever the conversion is for them, and then they're putting it back into their government, and that's that. Like it's probably that simple, to be honest with you. It's just, unfortunately, it's just a lot of Bitcoin that's being sold off at one time. So.
TradeFly, we should start a contract company. We should start a contract company. We both got security clearances with the federal government. We'll start a contract company, and we will do on-chain analytics, and we will track down, nefarious activities that evidently all these criminals are using crypto for it. So confetti quotes. I love it. We will chase down all of this money laundering and nefarious activity on the blockchain. And then we will confiscate the Bitcoin. We'll tie up the federal government with the red tape for 2 years, and then give them the valuation at the time of seizure and keep the rest of it. And we'll just wash, rinse, and repeat, and to keep with the laundering term there.
Why don't we have OC create an exchange? We got to have the full thing going here, right? So we sell it OTC to OC guy, and we got the whole market.
Just keep flushing. I love it. Let's do it.
That's amazing.
Let's drop our contract proposal for the federal government. I'll call some of my old financial analysts, that I worked with in the narco terrorism financial threat analysis, and we'll get those guys on board. Let's do it.
Disabled veteran, you will get a preference as well.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's do it. What are we sitting here for doing this show? Because we love the alumni.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
That's why we're here. Let's go jump over and check out one more article, because we are about 2 minutes away from Jerome Powell starting to speak. So I got to get this one out. Powell speaks to Congress soon. What to expect? And there, it's what he's going to look like right there. Janine, shout out to Tom Crown. Janine's going to be out there in the crowd. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell heads to Capitol Hill this week to deliver his twice yearly report on the state of the economy. The back-to-back session will likely feature some feisty exchanges, but few details on when the central bank expects to lower interest rates. With the Fed holding rates steady, the presidential election campaign underway, Powell is likely to face combative questioning from both sides of the aisle in the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. That's the one that he's doing today. And then tomorrow, he's got the Committee on Financial Services, House Committee on Financial Services. So one of the things that is saying to watch here is Chair Powell probably faces a tougher task than usual. Inflation has become a political issue, and the election is approaching. Expect Powell to note it will likely be appropriate to begin easing monetary policy sometime later this year without delving into details, even if he's pressed. He's probably going to do a lot of referring back to, as I said, that's probably what's going to happen. If Powell uses soon to describe the timing of potential rate cuts, that would be notable. So if he says things like soon, things like that. If he talks about easing, we might be easing, or we are looking at easing, things like that. Those are going to be the things to look at. And when he says, every time that he talks about the employment rate being strong, the employment rate is strong. The labor market is strong. Expect that we're going to have a lot of backlash from Elizabeth Warren, and then probably a lot of pushback on him. So all of this back and forth of words is going to be back and forth the price action today. That's the bottom line on that. But that is starting right now at the top of the hour. Speaking of the top of the hour, guys, let us know in the chat what you guys would like to see for some altcoins. And then OC, I'm sure you have an altcoin ready to go. Do you, sir?
Absolutely.
All right,
Well,
so we're going to jump over to you. We're going to jump over to you, and then TradeFly, you'll come in next, and then I'll be rounding it out on the rotation here. But guys, let us know in the chat what you.
Do we have audio lost? I'm not 100% sure of that, but
yeah, I had the mute button hit on yours. I don't know why. Then we'll come back around, and we'll as Jerome Powell starting to speak here, watch this price action on some altcoins. So here we go.
Absolutely. So basically, right here we have VET, just because it was requested for Abe Leaf Crypto. Shout out to other Abe Leaf Crypto that is in the chat. If you haven't followed her, go ahead and watch her videos. Those are some amazing videos. So in here we have something interesting happening that we are just impacting the dynamic reactor. Are we going to be breaking it? I don't think so, right? I could be wrong, but right now, usually when we see that we are above the zero line, but at the top of that area, right, above the zero line, at the top of the red area of the red threshold area right here, we see that we are running out of momentum, although we are not there yet as before. I mean, we don't have those overbought. We are not like on top of it, but we're very, very close. I still have a little bit, just a tiny little bit of hopium for a breakout and retest, but most likely I do believe that we're going to be rejecting out of that dynamic reactor and going for another supporting here. So as you can see, we have a clean line of support almost being ready to go for a third touch, and that's what I'm going to be expecting. Let me take a look at what do I have right here. All right, sorry for that. At the moment, we have another big support area right here with my automatic support and resistances, and I have a big area of resistance all the way in here, which actually adds to my thesis in here, or what I believe that we're going to be going into this area, getting rejected, and maybe going back into this area of support, while we also go for the next flip of the ribbon. That flip of the ribbon most likely will happen right here on some smart money areas on the support line down here. So basically now getting ready for a pump. But guys, we need to be careful with what is being taught today on the live. So be careful, because they could be moving the markets. So other than that, turning it back to you guys.
All right, what you got for us, TradeFly?
Right on. I got a FET. I'm bringing that up on the daily right now. Doesn't look great. Had a pretty big move up, and ever since it really hit that all-time high there, the trend has really reversed. You can see it's going down and right. It's getting underneath of all of the moving average. It's underneath of the golden pocket. Even if you were to move the fib retracement all the way down to zero, you're still under the golden pocket. So everything really resistance-wise is on the top side of this. You are coming down to, I don't know, I'll say give you a little bit of hope, is this area, a previous range on the daily. So kind of similar to Bitcoin. I mean, not in terms of its pullback, but just pulling back to where there was a previous range. So you could actually find some support here. And that is, you're looking at about $1 even.
It's about $1. Anywhere. Yeah, it's about to be a stable token.
Yeah. $1.20 maybe on the top side there. But really, it looks like you're already kind of falling through that. So yeah, about $1, you might be able to find some support. But really, you're kind of just hanging on to hopium at that point. It's really, you got to look for one. I wouldn't just put a limit order here, not like Bitcoin where like, hey, I have this key area I think it's coming down to, there's volume associated with it, there's historical support levels that you're looking at. This is you'd be kind of taking a flyer, so be very careful. I would look for more than one touch in that area of about $1. You would like to see, that second touch, and then you would also like to see the prime oscillator continuing its move up and right to kind of show you that there's strength with that second bounce. If it does pull back even more, then you'd probably be looking at the platinum pocket here. And really, that's not really lining up. So let's go ahead and pull this up to the next one right here. So you had that move up, pull back. That's your local low there. And then with your high, I like the way this lines up a little bit better because now you're looking at the platinum pocket right now on the top side where you know that there is an area of support. So if it falls to the bottom side here, the reason I like this as well is because this right now is lining up with where you had previous resistance before it ultimately made its move up. So that's pretty much your next leg down that you're looking at. So you got $1. Let me go ahead and mark that for you right around $1. And then you got about 88 cents. And that coincides with this. So hopefully what was resistance turns into support. And that will be probably an area for you that I would probably send an alert in that area. I think that's probably the more likely of the two. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. Overall, it's a bearish looking chart right now. So,
well, I will say this before we jump. I will say this before we jump over into CASPA. The merger has gone well. They haven't had any issues. Matter of fact, Crypto.com has moved their everything Ocean and AGIX into Fetch. And Fetch is now listed as ASI token. So that went smooth. I personally might start a DCA at $1. That's just me personally. But if it came down to $1, I would probably start to load back up on ASI because the merger is happened. So
yeah. So what happens with this this Fetch right now? So if it's merged already to ASI, like
they're still showing it just for the price action on there on the exchange. But if you look at ASI, there's not enough history. It's a new token. So we're going to have a little period there where we're not, once they stop Fetch completely, if they don't convert over to on the same chart with ASI, you won't have historical data. So, but yeah, $1 would be where I would look at just because it is a psychological number. It is a good previous range of support that it would retest. And then on top of that, the merger happened. And so 3 tokens of valuation all into one market cap. I think it's not a bad move. So
it's just ASI?
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing it. But if you guys know in chat, yeah. But is there anything else on ASI?
If you go to CoinGecko, you can see it there. They've already changed it over on CoinGecko.
It's not showing up on TradingView for some reason. The reason I'm asking that is because I wanted to kind of look at ASI in comparison to Fetch to see if there's a 1-to-1 correlation. My guess is there's not. So it'd be kind of hard to set a buy or a limit order at $1 if ASI is not lining up 1-to-1 right now.
Yeah, if you look here, if you type in Fetch on CoinGecko, Fetch, there we go. It comes up as Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. So,
that's CoinMarketCap as well.
Yep.
Interesting.
So it's happened.
Are all 3 of those tokens gonna show up as ASI?
Yep.
Interesting. Cool.
So if I do AGIX, it's still saying that it's Singularity Net, but on the previous page it said Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, and Singularity Net unite to form ASI through token merger. So it's already showing up there. I don't know how that chart's going to work. What you got, OC?
Well, I'm looking at Litecoin. I do remember that it was a big mover or a big watcher.
Yet. I thought you had something on Fetch.
Oh, sorry. I was just looking at Litecoin.
Hold that Litecoin. We'll be right back.
Much.
All right, take a look over here. Guys, let's take a look at Caspa. Looking at Caspa here, like I showed you guys earlier, I think this is a very, very bullish looking chart. We just keep getting, if we look at this on a weekly, just take a look at the weekly, and I'll turn off some noise here so that you guys can see it better. There we go. Let's turn that off. You guys can see here on the weekly that we are just doing this nice little run of higher lows, higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This is looking bullish in my opinion. I do think that we could see a little bit of a pullback, but to some key levels. And those key levels, if I get rid of the brush marks there now, there we go, turn back on that. Those key levels that I'm watching are sitting here on these trend-based fib extensions of the golden pocket. I think we come back and we test here at the phase 8 golden pocket, which is 16.1 cents. That would be another little move right there with another local higher low, and then move to the upside. But ultimately, guys, I'm bullish on this. Anytime that we get one of these levels here of the golden pocket, 16.1 cents, 14.6 cents, or 0.5, I should say, anything in there, I am bullish on it. And as I said the other day, we could technically pull all the way back down on a wick to this old trend line, which goes all the way back to, it was like a penny. And we could still be bullish on this entire setup, guys. You can see how strong the support line is. So even that would be, and it would look like we have, set a lower low if we did that. However, look at this on the weekly. We would hit this and it would still be higher than this low here. So if you look at this on higher time frames, that would still be a higher low. So I'm not overly concerned about Caspa. I think Caspa's strong, and I think Caspa is doing great stuff. Been bullish on it since 4.5 cents. So that's what I'm seeing there on Caspa. In the short-term time frame, I'm going to be watching for us to get a little bit of a pullback here, as we just talked about. That phase 8 golden pocket at 16.1 cents. And the reason is because I think we're going to come back and zero bounce here if we don't goose head itself and keep going up. But I do think we could see it come back to that level there. So that's what I'm seeing on Caspa. Let's jump it over to OC. He's got a little bit of Litecoin for us.
Absolutely. I do remember that on Random Keeper, we were looking at Litecoin for a long time. And I'm bringing this up because I believe that we're very close to maybe a reaction or on a positive reaction. So just something to note that I am on the 4-day charting here, and I have already drawn this line right down here, but I also see another important line somewhere around in these areas. Let me bring here on, use my indicators, and I bet you we have something around there. And yeah, there we go. We have a previous target right there. And also if I start putting up, oh, there we go, perfect. We have not only a strong support, but also we have a retail area zone right here that usually ends up being a accumulation zone. So as you can see, I was expecting maybe a breakout and retest before we start, or we go visit those areas. But also I was expecting or seeing at my oscillator right now, I see that we goose headed, and then we're going for that upper or inverted goose head, this one. Sorry, and we're going for that upper or lower moving down here. But also I do have a reversal plus a golden line. And something important to know, and let's go to the 4-hour for this one, it is that I'm having a V-shaped recovery, as we've been seeing on the previous altcoins, right? So we have a V-shaped recovery for higher time frames. And if we go back to the 4 days, we can see, let me clear this up, that we are having a week down there. Look at what had happened every single time that we had a week, or most of the times that we have had a week. Look at that, a week and moving to the upside, week and we're moving to the upside, big week and then move to the upside, and so on and so forth. So those weakening actions are not to be underestimated. So are we ready to start pumping? I would say not quite yet, but we're getting really, really close. I will be looking at the 4-hour and also looking at this trend line here for a confirmation of a pump, and I'll be looking at my dynamic corrector. So I want to break out, retest, and off we go for that movement. So I'm going to be removing the green lines, just to add my next possible scenario in here. This is going to be it. And also something important is that we still have some movement to go to the upside in here on the oscillator as well to our dynamic reactor. So at least going to the dynamic reactor, if Bitcoin does not plumps today, I believe that Litecoin might be going to impact the dynamic reactor, and those are good news at this point. So turning it back to you guys.
All right, TradeFlow, what you got for us, bro?
I am looking up the Kabisi letter right now because I just got a notification. So I think there's a little bit of a maybe a wrap up of what Powell was saying.
Yeah, I'm watching the 5-minute crypto bubbles right now, and they're turning super green. So while you pull that up, I'll show it on the screen here. Let's jump over there. Bam. Yeah, this is the 5-minute crypto bubbles, and like ENA's up 2%, Orti's up 1.4 in 5 minutes. Like, so he said something. I'm not sure what exactly it was, but did you find it there in the Kabisi letter?
Yeah, I got it up.
All
right. So Q1 2024 data did not support confidence in inflation and path to rate cuts. Rate cuts not appropriate until greater confidence inflation is heading to 2%. Cutting rates too late could unduly weaken the economy. And the U.S. economy is expanding at a solid pace. Labor market conditions have cooled but remain strong. Elevated inflation is not the only risk we face. That's kind of the summary that the Kabisi letter put out for us. So basically, no rate cuts.
No rate cuts, but markets are responding well to it here on the crypto side. Like I said, watching 5-minute bubbles here. So
doesn't seem very dovish to me, but
no, not at all. Not at all. But it's he's selling hopium today, man. He's selling hopium. Maybe. Let him cook. Let's see what do you got for us on the chart there?
I brought up JYMPA. We haven't talked about that too much here recently. That was a big mover, and it did hit an area of resistance. I was looking up at about 44 cents, but that's old news, right? Or not even 44 cents, 4.4 cents. Sorry, JYMPA, not much to it there. But anyways, it pulled back. It didn't even hold up, at least on the daily at the golden pocket, just fell right through that. But what it did find support at is a negative point of control, right? So I know that some people are pretty big on these, having these point of controls that are out there. It came back down, and that's where it found support. So that is interesting because it fell through everything. It fell through most of the moving averages, dynamic reactor, but that POC is where ultimately it did find support. So that's kind of where we're at now. But there is the value area high here that it's got to mess with, value area high in conjunction with the 100-day SMA as well as the golden pocket, which should theoretically now act as resistance. So that's going to be a tough little battle here for JYMPA. Not somewhere I would go long right now, and it's really been having a pretty harsh fall down and right. And this is one of those things. Again, you want to see it kind of reverse the trend, have some kind of breakout, get over this value area high, get over some of these moving averages as well as the golden pocket, and then at that point, once you see a higher high, then you can be a little bit more confident. But what I would look for at that point is, not just for it to break this area, but I would like it to come back down and retest, OC retest, man. We like to see that, and then look for that continuation up and right. But a lot of that's going to have to do with the rest of the market here. We'd like to see it move up and right. So right now, trajectory of the overall crypto market is down and right. So I'd be very, very careful with JYMPA. If you're not in a trade, or if you're not in JYMPA, I'm not going to give you financial advice, but I would say personally not something that I would mess with right now until I see some of those things happen. So like I said, I'd like to see it break this area at about we'll call it 2.5, 2.6 cents. Look for a retest there at that area as well. And then that might be an opportunity where I'd be a little bit more interested in looking for a long position.
Absolutely. One thing I am seeing here, two things, actually. Let's jump over here first. Guys, tonight, season 2, episode 2 of Billy Goat Tales is going to be happening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Randy Hipper is going to be on there. So do not miss that. But what I want to show you guys is jump over to the chart here and let's take a look. Bitcoin hitting on that 200-day moving average again. If we put this on the daily, you'll see it is coming in right at it right now, getting a little move up. Remember, as we talked about earlier on the stream, I am watching for Bitcoin to come up and break this previous support line, resistance, but it's previous support from here. And then if that happens, look for that liquidity grab there above these previous levels around 59,000 before we come back down. We do have $59,067 is the top of that golden pocket also. So we are trying to get a little move up there today, and it looks like that might be the case that happens exactly what we were showing there. So let's kick it over and show what's going on with OC's chart. What you got for us, man?
Absolutely. I'm looking at HNT. So something important about HNT, it is that it's been just trending down for a long time. But also, if we compare it to anything else, we can see, and let's go to, I don't know, VET, that we had this big drop, right, on every single altcoin. So something that is not being reflected on HNT, it is exactly that movement. As you can see, we've been very stable for the last couple of weeks in here, and that gets me to think that we might be finding a bottom in here. So let me just bring out my indicators just to see if I have something that I might be missing. Just a money flow POC that I'm going to be marking that money flow POC for possible targets. And then there we go. We have a couple of formations in here that we have broken. So this formation basically already have played out for target number 2 and then bounce out. So it is not about the breakout. It's about the retest. We go for the retest, and then we did not lose this floor. So what I'm going to be expecting at this point is going to be a break through the zero line, for a confirmation also, break through the dynamic reactor, going back to retest this area, and then I'll be looking for this area of resistance. Let me see if I have something else all the way up there. Seems like everything is just basically clean and clear. So we could be having a possible movement if everything plays correctly or accordingly to my analysis of something like 45% movement, no leverage, or if you're doing something like 10x, which I'm not suggesting you should be doing any leverage, but you should be looking at something around 450% movements. So that's what I'm looking at HNT, because it has a potential of a 455% movement. Look at exactly what I'm looking at here. This is the kind of movement that I'll be after. So in this case, it was a 483 because I usually do 10x on HNT. So the possibilities are there. Just be careful because this is not for granted. And also, I will be waiting for confirmations. So other than that, I think this could be playing out very, very, very nicely. So I'm going to be adding a couple of alerts. And other than that, turning it back to you guys.
Awesome. What you got for us, Trade Fly?
Oh man, I was just doing some looking in the background here, but thankfully I got AVAX up
Hey,
on the daily.
I just saw that you had ASI up there. I just want to address something. Guy, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the finalized date is July 15th, which means we're about 6 days away from the completion of the ASI merger. It started July 2nd, completed by July 15th, I believe is what we read in an article a couple weeks ago. So go ahead, Trade Fly. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, I was trying to get smart on it, man. As I had a little time there in the background, I was like, all right, let me get smart here so I know what I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, got a AVAX up on the daily. Very similar looking to Jasmine, Bitcoin. It's in a downright trend, right? But there's, I'd say, a little bit of hopium for AVAX, right? Because you have this area of support that it did get a nice wick off of, and that coincides, again, with this previous range, right? So you see a trend, right? You're seeing this a lot with all different tokens, right? So this is like the third one I've looked at, and it all has this same little area where we had a nice push up, kind of leveled off before we really had that explosive move up and right. So it seems as though a lot of these tokens or projects, they want to come down and they want to retest this area. What was resistance, they're now testing it as support. So flipping resistance in the support, that's something we always look for. So there is opportunity here. We've got our second touch in an area. That's one thing that I like to see. And we do have our RSI, or our prime oscillator, trending up and right. All right. So that's kind of a few of the key ingredients that I look for. You want to retest a previous range. You want to see prime oscillator going up and right, and you get multiple tests in that area. So for me, any other time, I would probably look at this and be like, hey, that's an opportunity for a long position. And to be honest with you, I still may be looking at it that way. I'm actually probably going to do a little bit more research once the show is over and really look at Bitcoin and give that a harder look, because really that's what's going to drive this. Okay, so Bitcoin, when it makes its move, the altcoins are going to follow or at least move in correlation. So at least some of these mid caps like AVAX and Matic and all those. Matic's actually kind of ugly. I don't even want to look at that chart. But anyways, we do have an area of support. So what is that area of support at? That's at $23, and we'll call it about 23 even. Your area of resistance right now is going to be very clearly here, the golden pocket. You can already see there was a rejection here, and that is sitting at about $28.68. So that's kind of a little range that you're in right now for AVAX. You'd like to see that break out, but honestly, I might be interested in adding some AVAX. If it does pull back just a little bit here and it does retest this area at about 23, there could be an opportunity that, personally that I see for playing this range more so than looking for any kind of, big movement. I would just look for something pretty small right here, between 23 and 28. And of course, it does not want to measure for me. I don't know why. I did click it. There we go. So that's actually a lot bigger move than I was thinking. That's about 20% move. So something I'll be looking at outside of the show. I'll let you guys know in the Discord. If I do decide to make that move, I'll go ahead and put it in the trade setups.
Awesome. We did yesterday also. I want to bring this up real fast. We did put out the newsletter yesterday, guys. If you guys are members in the Discord, you guys get access to this. It is the newsletter for 8 July through 15 July. And in here, we talk about this Bitcoin price action setup that we talked about this morning. So if you guys haven't read this yet, you should go read it. There's some great stuff in here. It's got a full breakdown of where I think we could be heading, the key events that are still coming up for this week. And then the big one, guys, Moo is what old Crux has picked for this week. Where's it at? Finance 101, Gemology 101. Where are you? Right there. Gemology 101, not financial advice. Moo is the token to watch this week, according to Crux. So he does say not financial advice, and it is risky, but it is a highly risky play. Less than $50 million market cap, and it's getting on a project outside of the top 600. Is never easy. But it's Moo. It's a Solana meme token play there. So if you guys haven't read that newsletter yet, you need to go do that. And then I'm going to show you guys what I'm watching here on the charts, because it's NVIDIA.
An exchange, Moo, or is that on like
I don't know. Crux, what exchange do you have to get that on a decentralized exchange like Uniswap or something like that? Let me know in the chat there, Crux. That would be great. But shout out to Crypto Billy. I see Crypto Billy. He actually appeared as we were talking about the show tonight. So it's almost like, if you stare at your camera and say Billy Goat tells 3 times, he will appear. So Billy Goat tells, Billy Goat tells, Billy Goat tells, and bam, he's there. So looking at the chart here, guys, I'm watching NVIDIA today right now. NVIDIA up about 3.4%. It was up a little over 4% a moment ago, getting some price action. Its all-time high is sitting back here, guys. So it looks like it is attempting to make another run again at that. So if you guys have NVIDIA, that is the stock to watch today, evidently. Getting some upside movement today on this news. So that is about all we have time for. That's about it. I just wanted to show that. So TradeFly, great to have you here, man. Love it when you can make it. Everyone is excited about Crypto Nightcap. We are waiting for how that content is going to look. And then here soon, we're bringing Lunar Beach's Crypto on to do a pre-market show in the morning here on Piper Academy. We're just growing the academy. We are bringing in the talent. So FD White at some point will be joining the team for the Crypto Nightcap with TradeFly. And it's big things. We're trying to do big things over here so that you guys can get the best content. But TradeFly, OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man?
Hey, as always, it's great being on here with you guys. Love mixing it up. In Crux, I trust. I'm going to find me some moo. I'm going to put some cash money on that. Crux, better not freaking lead me astray, my man. But yeah, with that being said, I do have a call with FD White. That's going to be going tomorrow at about 8 p.m. my time. So I don't know, Piper, if you're going to be awake, if you already had your warm glass of milk and cookies, you might be asleep already. But with that, if you are awake, then go ahead and join us on that call, and maybe we can hash some things out, get this party started.
Yeah, sounds good. OC, what you got for the people? Tell these people what they get if they hit that like and subscribe
a warm glass
button.
of milk.
That's not a crypto nightcap, jackass.
Hit the like button and Piper will get his warm glass of milk tonight.
There you go, guys. I think that nailed it up. Guys, thank you so much for joining today's class, and click that like button, because if you do, what did I get? Trend blind?
A warm
glass of milk.
A warm
Can I get a little cinnamon sprinkled on my warm glass of milk, please? That would be great. If I'm gonna have milk at night, it's gonna be a White Russian. I'm gonna put a little vodka and Kahlua in there. Maybe make it an Oklahoma, a little splash of Coke in it. I'm just saying.
Right. I respect that.
This guy. I'm old. I ain't dead. Jesus. All right. We appreciate you guys joining us today. I'm very excited. Sometime this week, it's out for shipment right now, out for delivery sometime today or tomorrow. My Bitcoin children's book that I got from Billy Goat Tales, I ordered it on Amazon, so I'll be displaying it right here. When you guys look at this setup, it'll be right here. So there you go, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We are going to be back here tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and a summary of what Jerome Powell says today to Elizabeth Warren. So all of that and more tomorrow right here at the same place. Until then, guys, trade safe. And as always, check out In-N-Out Crypto and use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra, G.